BOS on the track.
What up, though? What up, though? Hope y'all doing good. It is Saturday. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's time to build. Word up. It's time to build up with the God. Hope y'all doing good. Hope y'all had a good week. Hope y'all having a good weekend. I'm here, man. We're going to get it popping. Hope y'all doing well. Shout out to everybody checking in. Y'all see the thumbnail. Got a good conversation today. How hurt are you? On a scale from KS to Sista Ali. Dang.
Be wrong for that, baby.
Yeah, we going right there immediately today. How y'all doing, man? Hope y'all doing good. Let's go ahead and get to the pleasantries because we got some celebs in the building. Yup. Shout out to the Mod Gang in the building. Mod Gang, appreciate you. Hope all is well. Chef is in the building. Let's get it. Brooklyn, DMV's first family on deck. Get them MFing likes up ASAP. Let's go. Chef Shapino on the check. Hope you're doing well, man. Shout out to you and the team. Shout out to Miss Andrea. Congratulations on her 1,000 subs. Well deserved. And you guys are greatly appreciated for the work that you're putting in over there. So keep doing what you do. The missus is in the building. What up, cuteness? What up, baby girl? Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a good weekend. It was nice dancing with you last night. She said, what up, Chefy? Brooklyn in the building. He said, hold up. She said, Jersey is in the building too. I don't know who told y'all, but she said Jersey is here. Stand up. It's good. Don't forget to subscribe to these amazing creators that's in the chat. You guys don't forget to put hashtag Cerebro, like the missus right here is instructing, and it will drop your link in the chat just like it did hers right there. So hashtag Cerebro, Cerebro. We'll get you dropped in the chat so people can just jump over to your page and subscribe so they can get some of that great information. Shout out to Vaughn Eric on the beat. Yes, indeed. Always supplying us with some heat. This is like that. Take heat said, hello, sir. Hello to you, madame. We appreciate all that you do. What up, though? Paris was good. Hope all is well. Hope you had a good weekend. I still love her, but a correction need be made. Okay. All for that. Sis is in the building. Hey, Quantum. Hope you're doing well. You had a great week. Hope you're having a good weekend. Pleasantries getting exchanged. You guys see the title. How hurt are you on a scale from KS to Sista Ali? Just something came to mind because there was a recent clip of Sista Ali giving some information about a meeting that was supposed to be made between her and KS, but it didn't happen because, you know, unforeseen, unfortunate circumstances arise with the passing of KS. Rest in peace to the Godfather. But I thought it was very interesting. My guy AR put up on his page a clip that Sista Ali made a bit of an insensitive statement. I can't lie, but everybody, you know, has their own specific reasons on how they feel the way they feel. But that's going to be the crust of the conversation. Like I said, we are going to condense our conversations down into one particular topic for the evening. And we're just going to go off of that. And we may have one or two videos to support it, but it's going to be absolutely, you know, a feature presentation for the evening. So that's what we're going to do today. If you guys would like to come up, all you got to do is drop a request in the chat. I'll be more than happy to send you the link. And at a point, I am going to drop the link in the chat for everybody. But of course, you guys know I like to put a little bit of meat on the bones first so we can have something to chew on. You know what I mean? But like I said, AR put up a clip of Sista Ali. And it was interesting to say the least. But it started me going down a rabbit hole. And I got a little bit of information for a great conversation today. And I'm going to share a screen with what AR had on his page. What kind of sparked the conversation. And then I have something with a little more substance to it. But we're going to start with this right here. You guys tell me what you think. Hopefully you got a chance to check out my story. I put it up on my story. Got a little message from Take Heed. Her form of approach is amazing. It's admirable and very concentrated. So I took a page out of your book, Take Heed. I hope you don't mind, my sister. But if you guys want to see the video, you can always check my story. You can always check the group page. But, you know, I got it right here for you guys. So let's get to it.
Getting ready to do something, though. We were going to do a big thing in Atlanta. And then he went and died. So I guess that wasn't supposed to happen. But, you know, we're getting ready to do something, though. We were going to do a big thing in Atlanta. And then he went and died. So I guess that wasn't supposed to happen. But, you know, we're getting ready to do something, though. We were going to do a big thing in Atlanta. And then he went and died. So I guess that wasn't supposed to happen.
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that clip of Mrhesaid Ali making her comment about KS? Like I said, my man AR put that up on Notorious Ruthless Media and on his page A to the R Bird. Shout out to AR. And it started me to thinking, man, just how hurt are you on a scale of Kevin Samuels to Sister Mrhesaid Ali? And, you know, me included. That was a operative term when Kevin Samuels was spitting his rhetoric, when Mrhesaid Ali was spitting her rhetoric. A lot of who hurt you came on the end of that. Maybe warranted. A lot of us are walking around very hurt, very traumatized, very disturbed. But the wording in which I, wanted to word the title and kind of draw some attention was, were they both wrong? Were they both just completely wrong in their stances? Did they have some validity in what they were saying? Was it just maybe their approach? But in my opinion, I think they were pretty much saying the same thing. They took different destinations to get to the same route, but I believe they both wanted our families to be stronger, our families to be together. That had to come with a little bit of self-reflection and curation of ourselves, men and women alike. So again, I asked, how hurt are you on a scale of KS to Sista Ali, or somewhere in the middle? Do you disagree with both of them emphatically? Do you think maybe KS had some legitimate points, overall goal he was trying to accomplish? Do you think Sista Ali has some overall points? Are you familiar with their bodies of work? KS, not so much tangible, and Sista Ali, very much tangible. She has, a plethora of books, a series of books. So we're going to dive into the conversation a little bit today and get to it. Why she laugh at that? He dead. He is. I've been noticing, Dury, that now it's, not a lot of sensitivity doesn't have to come posthumously anymore, and I kind of see it in the younger people. When I was coming up, I'm a little older. Sometime I get, shamed for that, for being older, but I'm a little older. Shame. I'm 50 years old. And from my day, you didn't disrespect the dead. Even if you guys didn't get along in living, if you didn't see eye to eye, you just, kept your thoughts to yourself. You kind of stayed kind of silent. But nowadays, it's a little bit different. They, don't give a damn about disrespecting you in death if they disrespected you in life. They allude to, smoking on the pack of a dead friend, not living in honor or memory of dead friends or dead adversaries. So it's a different climate. Damn. The laugh out loud made it cold. Did. Again, I like Sista Ali. I like KS, but I don't agree with everything that anyone says or does. I don't think any of us do. I think it comes with, again, that card that we carry, being a member of the adult club, that we know that we don't agree with everything somebody says. And that was a little insensitive. He dead, which is a fact. He is definitely not living anymore. Do better. Take plenty of correction from more than just one person. It's admirable. Takes a big person, takes you to be very humble. I didn't think she should have laughed. I wouldn't disagree with that. Wouldn't disagree with that. Sophisticated Grizzly. Shout out to my brother Ted on the check-in. You guys don't forget to drop hashtag Cerebro in the chat so that Nightbot can promote your channel. And I wouldn't disagree. Take heed. But again, I'm pretty sure I do a lot of things people don't agree with. Use a lot of words people might not agree with. And sometimes it's something that we got to take on the chin again as an adult. I'm not in line with making fun of anybody passing away, but Kevin Samuels been dead some time. And that was a pretty good joke. Me and him was supposed to do some work together. We were supposed to meet up in Atlanta, but obviously the Lord must not have wanted it to be so, because he's not here no more. He died. I could see it. Len Byers, basketball player from here, Maryland, where we live now, he was really good back in the 80s. He went to Maryland. He was a standout. He got drafted to the NBA. And on the night he got drafted, he went to a draft party. He sniffed some coke. I believe the coke was pure, uncut, really, really good. He died. It wasn't very long before he was the butt of a joke. You had some of that Len Byers. You might not make it till tomorrow. Be careful, so on and so forth. So there is a level of insensitivity that comes with reality. But that started me to thinking about how people viewed both their approaches, both their vernacular, demeanor, rhetoric, so on and so forth. And where do we land on the scale? Are we more towards Scheherazade Ali wanting the Black family to be nuclear, necessary with the necessary hierarchy? Or do we believe in the rhetoric of Kevin Samuels that wanted Black families to be together with roles and a hierarchy? Y'all see where I'm going? They weren't very much different. Their approach, though, could be a little bit different. KS has a strong message. It was too hard for our women because they was not ready. But his content was facts. I can't be mad at that. We gonna talk about it a little bit. Mrs. Ali has been on point, but she is changing now. Okay. With new information, people change their mind. I liked KS. Yeah, his approach was unique, but I liked KS. I'm not gonna lie. His approach was unique, but I understood. Shout out to Grizz for dropping his link in the chat. Y'all go and check him out. So this conversation started me to thinking, guys. Started me to thinking. I said, self, want to think? How hurt are you on a scale from KS to Sister Ali? I said, well, maybe I'm in the middle of both because I think they have a similar message. I believe they both wanted the family, again, to be nuclear, to be primary. And although they were both very unique, I think they were both very necessary. What I want to do now is bring up our feature presentation. Let's go ahead and set it up, give you guys an opportunity to share this stream to anybody you think may like it, because we about to heat up.
Too much, you might. 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 Too much, too many crabs in a barrel, but I'd rather hang around family and battle. It's too much, too many dripping in sauce, and I ain't hating on nobody, they can get lost. It's too much, trying to help a nigga out, the only thing they care about is internet cloud. It's too much, niggas sounding like each other and they all dead wrong, they don't even get along. Too much, you might. 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 Too much drip, you might slip. 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 Too much.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to everybody that's here. We appreciate y'all sharing the stream. We're going to have some fun. Done, my brother. Boom. Bang, bang. Let's hear from KS.
These days, men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
I thought it was interesting too. I thought it was interesting that he's viewed and demonized as being so insensitive in conversation, but again, his ultimate goal was wanting families to be together. Those people that called into his show volunteered their selves, their lives, their information to him. He worked with what he got. So again, I seen that recent clip of Scheherazade Ali, and Thought it was interesting. So it started me to dive down the rabbit hole. Let's take a look at this interview and chop it up. This is our feature presentation, ladies and gentlemen.
And now our feature presentation.
So I guess that wasn't supposed to happen. But Kevin, the book woke him up and it gave him the courage to discuss and address these things since I had did it and had put out the blueprint. And so he was a bit crude. I had told him I didn't think he would be successful because of how he was going about it. But he told it the way he saw it. And he was not successful. He was successful in his platform, getting hundreds of thousands of people, 300, 400, 500,000 people were, tuning in to hear him and his comments. But I don't know. I'm sure it benefited some of the women because it put us in check about what we think our overrated value is.
What do you guys think? Do you think that Kevin Samuels was successful? Shout out to Karma Coleon on the check-in. She said, peace to the gods and the earths. Peace, family. Peace to the chat. Peace, sis.
Come and have a good time with G.O.D.
We appreciate you. Hope you had a good week. Like she said, peace to the gods and the earths. Do you guys think that Kevin Samuels was successful? Sister Ali is alluding to him being successful in regards to having viewers view his show, but not successful overall in delivering his message. Me, I don't necessarily agree. I look at, the collateral damage, the remnants, the aftermath of what KS, kind of started as far as opening Pandora's box of men expressing themselves and the back and forth that has become what we see now. I believe he was very successful in starting a conversation, successful in making it not so one-sided. And now men get to express themselves, get to give their opinions, reflect on their experiences. Very coincidental that now everything has become anecdotal. You don't want our anecdotal experiences, although if I had a certain experience and my brother in Detroit had a certain experience and my brother in California had a certain experience and they all similar experiences, we can't draw a conclusion from that. Oh no, that would be speaking too general, right? But this is what has been created by the conversations that Sista Ali started with this book in the 80s. Kevin Samuels wasn't saying anything different than what she said in this book. I had to show y'all a book because y'all know now in 2023, nothing is solidified unless it's in one of these books. Modern women don't want to hear you if you can't say you sat in college, got indoctrinated with their education, and you know how to read books. So fellas, make sure you got a good book next to you because they're going to ask you, do you read the white man's books? You got to say, I read the white man books. I read black man books. I read all type of books because Princella said books, which is supposed. Was talking about books. We've been suggested to read a book, read a mother effing book, not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. So shout out to the avid readers. Shout out to everybody that understands that information is power. But Kevin Samuel wasn't saying anything different than what she was saying in this book right here. Take He said, yes, he was. absolutely made me take a long, hard look in the mirror. Me too. Me too. Made me take a long, hard look in the mirror as well, sis. And again, overall, self-reflection was the goal. I don't even know how we got to the vitriol, the hatred, and all of the things that they have towards these people that just want our families to be together. They just want us to be better together. He made minds open up. Low key, she's coming off as a hater. He is arguably more successful than she was. Arguably. Those books went out to a certain amount of people, and the world is now in 2023 populated by a lot more people. So you would definitely have to check the numbers. Self-reflection with that mirror up there. You gotta have that mirror. Facts. And he loved her. He definitely understood her goal. That's the move, self-reflection. It is. Unfortunately, his delivery was both the reason he rose to the trait he gets the most heat on. Absolutely. But that tone is needed, especially as most of his callers didn't have a male in their life who would. Good point. Good point. Dr. Nakumbe is on the check-in. Hey, Doc, he said, shout out to Mr.HeSaiD, Mrs.HeSaiD, Maz, and those in the chat. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to you, Doc. Nice show you and Coach K had on Thursday. We appreciate y'all information, man. We're going to be moving our day to Tuesday now, so we'll be able to partake, listen, and even jump in sometimes on Thursday, man. We appreciate the information that you guys push out and all the information everybody pushes out on Thursday. So we can't wait to be, people who are in the chat and in the crowd enjoying a Thursday night on YouTube. So, Doc, today we are asking a question inside of our title card, and it is, how hurt are you? On a scale of KS to Sista Ali. Sista Ali recently did an interview, and she gave us some information that her and Kevin Samuels were planning on doing something in Atlanta, but unfortunately, he didn't make it. She made light of it in a joking way. So it started me to dive down the rabbit hole to look for that interview. I wanted a little more context. And it started me to thinking, like, where do I fall in between Sista Ali and Kevin Samuels? Again, I think they both had similar destinations. They took, different approaches and different routes to get there. But although I can't agree with anyone in totality 100%, I did see some points. But where do I land on Sista Ali's side, KS's side? I was able to read Sista Ali's book. I was also able to watch Kevin Samuels. So, I got good information from both. And again, I think they both are looking to go to the same destination. And I really can't pull away from that ultimately the family, ultimately the hierarchy, always interchangeable, but at the same time has to be established. That bureaucracy has to be established in order for us to know where we fall, what's expected of us, what we should expect of others, so on and so forth within our family. So that's where I am now. We got Sista Ali with us right now, giving us a little more information. And she says she thought KS was successful in his platform in regards to numbers and having people subscribe and watch, but she didn't think he was successful otherwise. Let's continue.
I'm sure it benefited some of the women because it put us in check about what we think our overrated value is. Okay. And we think we have a greater value because we think that we are in charge of sex. Okay. And most men will just about do anything or go along with anything if they think that. Well, that's changing.
You guys hear that? There's a certain narrative that went along with the world, certain narrative that went along with men and women and the way they look at sex. But it's starting to change now. What do you guys think?
Okay, that is not all completely the way it was. This is the thing I wanted to mention, and I don't usually talk about this. When I say that we're living in trends, the messenger talked about when we get out of control or too savage that we live in a beast life. Okay. Our younger people, that children of the future there, are living somewhat of a beast life.
I heard what she said about the children of the future in them. Doc checked in. He said, I agree, Mr. Harris. Both prominent figures in the realm of social commentary, particularly in discussions relating to relationships, associate roles. And there were some key differences. I wouldn't disagree with that, though.
Because the new trend now, and I only know about this because they put it out there in the public on the Instagram and the internet and on the Facebook and everything. One of the things that scientists say separates the humans from the animals is that humans mate face to face. Animals mate from the rear. Well, it's popular now that that's what they're all doing, mating from the rear and doing all kind of other distasteful things and calling it sex.
Be wrong for that, baby.
What you guys think about that? I thought that was a very interesting part of the interview where she said humans typically mate face to face. Other animals mate from the rear. I thought that was interesting. And she also said that, uniquely now in 2023, mating in all types of unusual ways is now created to be the normal. I thought that was interesting. I think a Sister Ali more focused on cultural preservation and strengthening the Black community from within. I've never more society of women celebrating being never seen a more proud society of women celebrating being a whore. And any excuse cool to be a bad mother and still expect praise and love unconditional. Okay. She's just old fashioned. Okay. Take that into consideration. Let's do that. She's going to talk a little more. So let's keep all of this in mind. Shout out to Arshawn on the check-in. What up, man? Shout out to Critically Drinking. I see Yellow was over there today letting us get some insider information on wrestling, man. So that was dope. Went over there, dropped a like, hit a comment, and I'll be back to finish up the replay. I had to come over here. But good information, and that amateur / semi-pro wrestling, always exciting. And plus I'll be looking to see if a mistake happened and somebody get laid out. Pleasantries getting exchanged. Rest in peace to the Godfather. What appeared more focused gender dynamics, often challenging popular narratives and sparking controversy because of his direct nature. I think people focused on that as smoke and mirrors. Definitely had a niche. He had a angle that he came from. And again, tone, delivery, sometimes jargon, vernacular, unique. But in a world where everyone is different, everyone's unique, everyone should be considered. Again, you know, maybe it was his approach that didn't grant him those same graces. But again, I was trying to listen to the overall message and not, you know, throw stones at the messenger, particularly. I believe she low-key disliked him. He was more famous than her because I found out about her book through KS channel, and he loved to promote her always. Absolutely. He definitely showed her the homage and the respect that she deserved, again, as being the quote unquote originator of this ideology. So, you know, understandable. Again, she feels how she feels, but I believe they both had the same objective. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll get to it by the end of this. I've heard a few women, both younger and older, saying, I gave up. I gave you my cat, so now you owe me this. Ooh. At some point, the value or power of the punani became a negotiation or leveraging tool. I can't say I disagree with that. Only because of, again, you know, the opportunistic mindset of people in the dating world nowadays, people in the relationship world nowadays, the women that we talk to, some of the young men we talk to, family members, there has to be this transactional exchange, and they don't want to be taken advantage of. They don't want to be shortchanged. They don't want to be slighted. So that's really stopping them from wanting to even patronize the store, because they feel like they're going to be hit with bait and switch or some other things that, you know, the business world, you guys can equate and analogize to, that when you leave a transaction, you want to feel satisfied as a customer. You want to feel like you got your money's worth. And in the dating relationship, man, woman world in 2023, everybody just feels slighted. So, you know, everybody's on guard. Exactly. About the stones, appreciating your approach. Approach is important. First I heard of her was KS. Okay. She's been around for a while. Like I said, some of us older people are aware, but you know, she's a Muslim sister, so she gravitates toward the nation. She gravitates toward the honorable, and kind of made her foundation of her message based off that. And again, that's what made it so family orientated and more about the hierarchy of us kind of following the structure. And that would give us a good chance of being a strong family, because there are no guarantees, but there are things that can increase the probability. Shout out to Army Vet on the check-in. Salute to you, brother. He didn't lie to our women, and that's why they hated him. I read her understanding books back in the early 2000s. Lots of insight. It was again, gave me another outlook on how to approach my family, how to approach my significant other, because I really wanted her to understand that I appreciate, and I'm always going to try to evolve as a person, as a man, as a husband, as a father, because I didn't have a blueprint, didn't have a what to do strategy, learned from a what not to do strategy. So I'm incorporating every day new learning skills, new tools, new information to try to make me a better parent, better husband, better partner, better person.
That's a bad sign. Okay. There's a different connection, as we all know, of face to face than another kind of way. People are getting hurt. They're choking each other. They're spitting in each other's mouth, doing all kind of things that would never, ever have been considered as sexual pleasure.
What do you guys think about that? Like she said, there was a certain connection when humans mate face to face, when they have relations face to face. But it's a lot different nowadays. She said people is spitting. So I had to do some research. I'm like, people spitting? And sure enough, people spitting.
Don't want nobody touching you and I can't get in touch with you. Tell me what I need to know, don't wanna hear what's up with you. Keep it platinum, might just put my trust in you. This way different, unaccustomed to what you remember.
Shame on you.
Did he spit in her mouth? Did the other girls in the crowd look like they wanted that to be them? Honestly. He flies on planes all around the world. Women and men and drinks and hookahs and all around the world he travels. Who knows how many women he spit in your mouth. Like choking equal they need therapy. You're not lying. I still love her. She is amazing and her teaching is like no other. I agree. Again, I don't think she's the devil because she made joke of Kevin Samuels dying. I guess that meeting wasn't supposed to happen. I wouldn't have chose those words to make that joke. But again, it is what it is, right? We live in a grown-up world. She did want to sit down with him to build, so the intention was there. Listen, people bored. Gotta up the ante. Goodness gracious. Nasty. Very nasty. True. Being choked was looked at as sense of force, even R word. I'm just saying, now it's a fetish. Now, Kevin Gates is half demon. He don't count. Okay. She got demon juice in her mouth. Wow. Up and away. Ew. Yeah. Ew. Sean checked in. He did spit in her mouth, right? Yes, he did. There are couples contests with spitting in your girl's mouth. I'm not surprised. Didn't Megan Fox, and Machine Gun Kelly, didn't they drink each other's blood? Ain't they broke up now? Drinking blood don't put you together forever? Drinking blood don't put you together forever?
For that baby.
I came back to spit in the mouth. Welcome back. Welcome back, sis. Oh my God. Oh my God. He said, with the foolery, I can't. She said, I just can't with the foolery. Definitely nasty. Story time. Boyfriend at like 13 spit in my damn mouth when we kissed. I was pissed. Broke up with him. He said it was to show how much he liked me. Yuck. Bye. Damn. Spit in her mouth. So she kindly invited him to exit.
Take his microphone and usher him out.
Thank you for spitting in her mouth, man. You made room for a player, for a real player. Low key, folks been sharing saliva and body fluids for decades. This is true. This is true. Ew. Not how much he likes you. You like that? He said, let me get it out. Let me spit it out. Ooh. That's minor stuff compared to the dark sexual activities that's out there. But her point is clear. Golden and brown showers are the thing. And that's some participating. Reference Sukihana. Damn. He hit us with the Suki. Okay. I got you. Put a star in that. Reckless Ray is in the building. What up, Ray? Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you had a great week. Hope you're having a good weekend. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Give them that hot fire. They need it. I also believe the sense of urgency was different for his message. His desire to not have more people follow some narratives. His capacity and tolerance were different. He had a medical condition, okay? This is true. Ultimately, we see that that was true. I think of Mrs.HeSaiD and her approach to have women / all look at their health and to stop the shame, foolishness, and ways to better themselves. She's speaking from experience and has a passion. She does. She does. Again, you know, people are going to hear what they hear, but the behaviors is what she speaks to, not making the same mistakes of previous. And it's always a smart person that learns from other people's mistakes, not just their own. So I always admired her stance. And this is nothing new, Doc. She's been an advocate for children, an advocate for health, an advocate for yourself for many, many years. And, you know, to see somebody with a passion for the love of self, the advocation of self, because there's no better liaison for you than you. There's no better lawyer for you than you. If you can find somebody that can, you know, sign on as a co-chair, kudos to you. But you have to love yourself enough to want to, you know, self-reflect and examine that other person to let them into your life, to become a tandem, to become significant others. I think it all starts with the love of ourselves, man. I think we all deserve it. I think we all got it. We just got to tap in. So tap in. Actually traumatized by that shit. Yeah, it's a little stressful. It's a little stressful. Somebody spits in your mouth. For others to take action before it's too late. Yes, indeed. No, don't want showers like that. I will happily, duck his sick with ice cubes. Don't forget an icy hot too, ladies. Pop an icy hot in. First it's cold and then it's hot. Or first it's hot and then it's cold. I know it's something, but you know, don't keep it. Just pop it in for a little bit. Pop it out. Nice. Also think that KS did not take time to sit in the sensitivities, emotions, and shooting flares. He went straight to the topic and addressed the ability versus inability, the impaired. Okay, so maybe there's a light approach that we need to ease into it. Understandable. Narrative versus believing the lie. And people don't want to hear that. This is true. This is true. Take Heed's approach. That's why I love Take Heed, her approach. She gives us what we need, but at the same time, she lets us know, listen, baby, I'm here for you. I love you, but I'm not in line with the foolery. And I think that's where, I have to kind of get a little more honed in there. I'm not quite there yet. Not quite. I'm a little insensitive. Ice cubes and bottle rocket candy. Ooh, pop rocks. I had all the information about me, very aware and transparent about it all, and still managed to find lots of positive from the same trauma, purposely breaking cycles I know exist. Yes, indeed, Mrs. Harris. Yes, indeed. Purposely, like Doc said. He said he's agreeing. It's an agreement. Sean is in agreement with Doc. So I think we all guilty by association, y'all. I think we are all guilty.
That would never, ever have been considered as sexual pleasure. There's something wrong in that. I don't know how long they're going to be practicing that. And they're even doing oral sex in people's anus and their hands, all kind of stuff. Crazy.
Wait a minute. Did somebody allude to that? You guys are visionaries in here. Damn. Doc, how did you know that we were going to get to that part of the presentation? He said reference. He got references. He got a bibliography in his comment, y'all. He got a reference to cite. So we got to cite our source. There it is. I believe it was some brown booty hole over there somewhere. See, the thing for me is the celebration, the admiration. Did she put her hands up in like Jubilee because she ate some booty in front of hundreds of thousands of people? Did she point it up like the sports players pointed up to thank to the stars for booty eating? Are they in celebration and aspiration of this? Look at the girls.
Touching you when I can't get in touch with you. Tell me what I need to know. Don't wanna hear what's up with you. Keep it platinum, might just put my trust in you. This way different on the custom.
Are they fascinated? They're fascinated. They're fascinated, y'all. They're mesmerized. What y'all think? What y'all think? What in the world did we just watch? She ate her booty and then kind of cheered to the crowd. Yeah, my mind is blown too. Did they use a dental dam? Oh boy.
He wrong for that, baby.
It's the celebration for me, Doree. Again, we all have moments of weakness, right? The music took over me. It was an amazing concert. The crowd, So I ran up there and I did that. And then that's where, yeah, she did. We all celebrate something in life. Can't always be picky. This is true. This is true, Doc. We all celebrate something. Quantum is not feeling well. Quantum said, "Mm." And no one got it on video. Nothing like Kodak moments. Get it on Kodak. Yeah, munch, munch. Crunch and munch. Sister talking about it. She said mating face to face, it brings a certain connection. Mating different, it brings us a different type of energy. And I'm just noticing the energy of the young people. We got to get back to just loving up on each other, man. And I don't mean we have to be public displays of affection or simping all over each other or enabling and lying to each other, but a more positive approach, a more positive conversation. I think we all need it now in 2023. The one guy almost fainted with joy. I'm not surprised. Nasty. I wouldn't disagree, Sarah. It's because they are celebrities. Even Hitler had a lineup of ladies willing to do anything for him. You are not lying, Marilyn Manson. You are not lying, and a host of others. Jeez. Damn. Haha. And she into the crowd. Mr.HeSaiD, you cracking me up. Y'all cracking me up. I appreciate y'all being here. We just gonna have a conversation. I think she celebrates the power of influence she has. Now the music made me eat. It's crazy eating. So, ooh, child. Music. Music can motivate. Music, it can be inspiring. She glorifying how people are under the influence, and she can get people to do what she tells them. Our class in grace has gone out the window on this one.
Crazy stuff. And I'm talking about it because we need to know, and we need to start trying to teach something differently. Okay, that's not no love. That's not no showing of love. That's something crazy. And the girls are accepting it. The young women are being choked, or somebody spitting in their mouth. All kind of insanity things, and they calling it sex. That ain't no sex. I don't know what kind of beast life that is, but that's another trend that I hope passes, because that's taking it to such a low level. Where can it go after that? And how long then will generations think that that's affection? So that's a very bad sign, I think. And that the young women think that that's natural, as I said, that they going along with this, and that the men are tiring really of them at all. They don't even want to look at them. And I'm concerned about that, and I think we all should be.
I just want to touch on the Kevin Samuels thing one more time. Do you believe he helped bring interest into your works with a new generation?
No, I don't think so. I think it just it was so personally, individually critical. I don't think that ever helps. I think you have to be civilized and you're asking and telling. And I don't think that that kind of overly criticism of an individual, each person individually, no, that does not help, especially publicly.
What do you guys think? Think she got a point to what she's saying? I was absolutely understanding her point of view and what she was trying to relay. My thing is, with Instagram, YouTube, all of these public platforms, and again, you choosing to call in, wait in queue, be chosen to speak to, and then give the information that you give. I'm not sure if I'm in line with exactly, her sentiment, but I do understand that, bedside manner is very important for care. Very important for doctors. So you guys let me know what y'all think, man. Lady Navoa is checking in. Hey, love, hope you are having a good weekend. Hope you had a great week. Doc checked in. He said, all jokes aside, we have come to a point to make this okay to do. We present it as a way that say, do it more. And we are teaching many more ahead. And I ask, why? What is the gain or purpose? It's a great question. Great question. Again, I always think about, you know, the information that we put out being here forever, being here for a long time. People are going to click on these buttons in the future, whether, you know, deliberately or not. But the information that we leave, you know, it's here and people are going to be able to pull it up. We have a daughter that we want to make a lot of information for, because one day she may need to click on it to see what we thought. And we always want to make a good representation of ourselves and give her a view of what we were up against and kind of leave kind of a time capsule. So hopefully she'll take a look at this information and, you know, make the necessary changes or move accordingly. Take he said, cap. Take he said, cap.
Lying.
Why promote this on social media? Why do a grandstand on stage? Why take the risk of illness and disease with people who don't know, even if a person desires to do this? Great point. Lady Navoa checking in. Pleasantries getting exchanged. Let me drop the link if anybody fingers are getting tired of typing and they want to come up and chill out. But we're going to have a great conversation. And if not, feel free to chill out. I appreciate y'all in the chat. Y'all are doing an amazing job. And the conversation is moving right along. Got BK. Okay. Lady Navoa is enjoying some personal time. Let's get out of her business.
As I said, we already got low self-esteem, and that don't mean build us up on some false bravado. I don't mean that, but I mean we just have to be more gentle with each other. We are damaged creatures.
Let me reword it. I apologize. I wanted to ask, do you think his work brought more attention to your book with a new generation, with a younger generation that probably didn't know about
I'm
your
not
work?
sure. See, the other thing is, remember, we're in a society where they're teaching against reading. All right.
Wait a minute. Shahrazad Ali just said, I don't know. Now that I don't know, sister, can't you check the sales or what generated when KS came out with his stream, started mentioning your book? You can't check the progress of the sales since then? That may be something that you can look into. But she absolutely shined a light on the kids. They can't read. They can't read. She's right. They can't. We got to work on that.
Everybody either want to hear it or see it. So reading is not as popular. So I'm not sure if it worked that way. My sales have been impacted on a lot of things. You know, that must be 50 books out called The Black Man's Guide and The Black Woman's Guide. You know, so many people have copied, you know, my title. So I'm not sure it worked that way. I'm still selling books, and he's still, I'm sure there's still brothers out there not trying to take his place.
Lady Navoa said, She does that when she starts to settle in. Dury. Might be right. You might be. I hear some hateration and some holleration in the dancery. I hear it. It's a little bit in it. He said, no, Cap. He said, no. Take heed, you don't hear a little bit in there? She could check to see if she sold more books since KS came out. She said, I'm still selling books. So, you know, let's see.
Work that way. I'm still selling books, and he's still, I'm sure there's still brothers out there not trying to take his place.
Damn.
So that's just, you know, the way that turned out. He got me, I think, more attention for me, toward me as a writer, as a sister, you know. But I know my place in the world, and I'm just a woman. That's not an insult. That's not a put down, but I am not a man. See, God is a man. You represent God. And I tell Black women, the closest you may ever get to God is being with a Black man.
Ooh, I don't know if they're going to like that. That they might not like. She couldn't even say yes or no. She gave a long ass dance around answer. She did kind of do a little bit of Savion Glover on that. She kind of tap dance. But what do you guys think of what she's saying? What do you guys think so far?
Because he looks more like you than me. And we have so many things out here affecting our respect and image of self. That's the other reason Black women don't want to believe that the Black man is God, because they think the Black man they know ain't nothing, and that y'all ain't nothing, so there ain't no way you could be God. In fact, you...
Wait a minute. Why, I never. Is there some validity to that? It's no way that a man could be God, especially no Black man, cause I got one of those and he ain't shit. Damn. I see the logic, but wow. Yeah, tap dance. Hey, that's promoting her. May he sell more books. May her sell more books. Point blank, period. I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't disagree with that. Can't be Muslim and say God is a man. Nation of Islam be confused. Religion is definitely religion. That's why you gotta, use it as kind of like a compass to give you a certain foundation and then build on top of that, because, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. It's the patriarchy. That's a word. It has to be, Dory. Could you imagine if this was a matriarchy society, like Wonder Woman, Amazon, Utopia, where women were in charge of everything? Could you imagine? I could imagine. I think I'm gonna stick with the patriarchy. But I do get your point. Can't be Muslims as say God is a man. Well, some of us think so.
Come and have a good time with G.O.D.
Some of us think we're special. Could we be wrong? Of course.
don't want to believe that the Black man is God, because they think the Black man they know ain't nothing, and that y'all ain't nothing, so there ain't no way you could be God. In fact, you have some brothers who have surrendered, and they walking around talking about the Black woman is God. Some more.
Oh, I heard that. I heard that somewhere before. I heard somebody say the Black woman is God. Ooh. Well, let's welcome Doc to the stage. Hey, Doc.
Good afternoon. How are you?
How you doing, sir?
I'm fabulous. And yourself? Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you. You look great.
Excellent.
Sound great.
Excellent.
Look like you smell great too. So shout out to you.
Oh man, that's just a makeup. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. What do you think so far, man? What do you think of our show so far?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Shout out to those in the audience. Thank you for allowing me to share in this space with you. Salute to Mrs.HeSaiD and your family as well. I like the conversation. One thing I hope that we all take into consideration is the generation gap, and also the stressors that were going on during her at the time she was exploring writing this versus the time now that rest in peace Mr. Samuels is speaking to. Both have an overlap with wanting for our people to be better, but we're talking from a woman's perspective with a religious perspective or angle versus a man's perspective, and then more of a cultural or social perspective. When I talked about his illness, so knowing that you have a lifetime illness and the sense of urgency when teaching, or the sense of urgency to deal with, just get straight to a point. As far as selling books and gaining more popularity because of someone else's message, I think that's the other thing that's hurting us as a people when we start turning to these competing tactics or conversations about competing. How can we support each other? We can have totally different approaches and even some different speaking points. But if the end result is for a better person, then she would need to be aware of some of the comments that she's making. That's shooting herself in the foot, so to speak. Like, so you're in support when it's convenient, and then not in support when it's convenient. What is your message really about? So anyway, that's my biggest thing. Like, well, if I put in perspective her timeline, his timeline, the behaviors back then, people have been licking booty for how long? But yes, it's more talked about now, or is it? Social media was different during her time versus now. So this stuff is more present, is more out there in our face. But no one discovered ass licking just here in the last 10 years. So if we put that in perspective, I think it will help with how we hear or receive her message, or what we consider their intentions to be, is my opinion.
Okay. Okay. In relation to what she said about mating and connecting, how, us as humans usually mate and connect face to face, but other animals kind of mate from the back. Do you think that climate, that connection, that intimacy kind of adds to the climate in which we see now and the lack thereof?
I do. And here's why I say that. Animals, we're actually an animal, almost, right? But our mating call is different. So we use our eyes for sensory and connection, all with the idea of reproduction in mind. So reproduction is the main goal. Our sensory, hormones, different things. In the animal kingdom, they use signs and signals. So there's some documentaries out there where you can see monkeys and gorillas beat. Ah! Now we might yell for some coochie, but the actual mating call, the blowing, the fish swelling, the sounds, all the mating rituals. In fact, if you look at some of the African countries on that continent, if you look at the continent of Africa and some of those countries, look at some of the rituals all throughout the world, the different rituals to announce your interest. But the female in some of those animal worlds, well, they don't, there's not I'm not an animal, so I can't really speak to it. I'm not in one of those animal kingdoms, but the understanding is there isn't the dialogue, the intimacy building, the passion, the messaging, all of those things aren't the same. So you have a group of gorillas and monkeys who are beating their chest, and they show the female where her anus is actually throbbing while they're making their mating sounds. And then she walks away almost with an invite, like whoever's going to come get it. And they go gangbuster up in there. And the whole goal is for her to get pregnant, but it doesn't matter by who. And then if you look at lions, 1 lion, 5 lioness. So the actual idea of who's the father, as far as relationships and building a foundation, building a community, building all of those things, the conversations, if you will, are different. So horses that mount, they don't have any hands to put them to insert themselves, but it's all about the hormone, the smells, all the things that go with it, and they're able to successfully have sex. Where we make it more complicated, it has to be this, it has to be that, it has to be this, it has to be that. So I do agree that the contact is different, the purpose is different, because the pleasure center of the brain doesn't really know what the pleasure is. Frontal cortex, we know what we're doing, but for that dopamine rush, that part of the brain doesn't know if it's sugar, chocolate, meth. It doesn't know. So we could go into it blindly, but of course we talk about disease, we talk about body image. It has to be this, it has to be that, it has to look like this, it has to look like that. Even to lick someone's anus at a concert that you don't know, what was that about? That was a blind act, but we would say ignorant or stupid or unwise. So again, I think that non-facial contact, they don't take those things into consideration, but again, they're not human. Hope that makes sense.
Indeed. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate you, Doc. Always appreciate your insight. Shout out to World Class.
Thank you.
World Class in the building. Great show you did yesterday, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate the information that you put out. Appreciate your approach.
Yes,
Keep doing what you're doing, brother. He said the dopamine is a hell of a drug.
Right?
Or absurd, silly nonsense that we waste our time on.
When did that start? This notion that the black woman was God?
Well, they just have surrendered. It can't be me because I can't do nothing. I ain't got nothing and look like she more successful or whatever. And so we just decide then she must be God. That's what a man do. I don't know no man that would decide that. And I try to correct every brother I run into about that. They think they complimenting me by saying the black woman is God, but I'm not God. And I don't want that job. Okay, I got enough to do. I don't want that responsibility, and I don't have that power.
I wanted to touch on, before we get to the last two questions, I want to touch on something you said where you said black women, they don't see much in black men, right? And from personal experience, what I noticed that even if you're I don't know these terms they use, highly performing, even if you're just a great guy, right? They still can't see the greatness in you.
They still what?
They still struggle to see the greatness in you if you're a great person.
Well, as I said,
Doc, do you want to speak to that a little bit? The greatness in us as individuals, as people, men and women alike. Do we need that to be celebrated? Do we need that to be tapped into? Do we need that to be cultivated?
As our society is moving more and more towards individualism, I think, yes, people feel the need to be acknowledged, to be heard, to be recognized. I mean, I do it. I know certain channels I'm clear to speak to when I say, hey, hello to the GOAT, hello to the prophet, hello to the, I mean, I'm projecting these titles and labels in my form of acknowledgement. The kings, hello, Mr. and Mrs. HeSaiD, and blah, blah, blah. The world class, you know, because their messages, the people's messages, what they mean to us and how they land for us, I think it's important to give that acknowledgement. At the same time, I think is more crucial that we're aware of what we're saying and how we're saying it when we're in disagreement. So I don't have to agree like you. I've heard you say, make clear, and I hope you've not received pushback. I accept things and I believe things to a point. I may not believe everything that I hear, no matter how good it sounds. And so I wish people engage more in that type of thinking versus the immediate bashing because there's a disagreement. And then what that disagreement does, it starts to influence others with the positive too. Some people don't really listen to listen. They'll hear something, and because someone else said, yay, woo, they'll follow that, they'll jump on that bandwagon and not understanding what they're supporting. And so that's when we get to that foolishness that Take Heed talks about, like, y'all are not going to like this message, but you need to listen. Stop the foolery. So that misinformation, or that because I don't want to be disingenuous. Some people really believe what they're saying, and the listener who doesn't challenge it, they'll buy into it. I listen to people talk about their relationships, and they speak to it as if it's truth. It has no growth in what they're saying, but they're comfortable with it because they feel safe. And so because they feel safe, they say something that's like, really? Yeah. And boom, there we go. We now call her a goddess. We now call her someone very significant and very important, and said something of truth when it really was out of poison, hurt, disagreement, or some adverse experience that she had. And now, boom, we find it to be whatever. So anyway, that's my thought.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Very insightful.
Said we've been all taught against each other so hard. We have to talk more. Now, that's one thing Kevin did. He got more black men speaking out about their dissatisfaction. Well, dissatisfaction produced change. One of the changes has been more of our men are going offshore seeking other women who they say can know how to act more like a woman. All right. It's like we'll tell a man, everything you do, why don't you act like a man? When you all have never challenged our womanhood. You all have never told us, why don't you act like a woman?
What do you think about that, Doc?
Well, I have a couple of thoughts. Actually, I've been across seas, but I'm not one of the passport bros. I've been doing this for 15 years, going over and doing feedings and all that. But the cultures are so different over there that it's not a group of women just waiting for us Americans to come over and engage in this activity. In fact, the true culture, which is changing because, again, of social media and presidents and people going over telling them you better do this and better do that. But the actual core culture, they're not engaging in these behaviors. And they might like the foreigners, but they really like the potential to have money, resources, family taken care of. And if you're a meal ticket, then let's do it. The idea of being able to go to another place and speak to someone who's less knowledgeable, someone, and I don't mean smart, I mean less knowledgeable about game, someone who's not going to challenge me in the same way, someone who's influenced by my position or my status based on the country that I come from, that makes it easier. So in my mind, that means I'm presenting from a weaker position if I'm unwilling to have that same challenge with someone in my own culture, own race, and own country. Also, when it comes to communicating, I'll say with sisters, we've said the same thing over and over and over. But what about the delivery? If the delivery is harsh, unwanted, undesirable, it's not going to be heard. I also say if the delivery is one way without looking at ourselves also, then any group of people, our sisters, hear it, but at some point they're pushing back to say, but what are you doing your role? I've already been serving. Now you want me to do more. I don't know about you, brother, but if I work a job where they want me to do more and more and more, I ask for compensation. Indeed. So then when we ask for, when women are asking for compensation, not necessarily money, but security, safety, whatever you want to call it, then if we push back, oh, see, blah, 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 you don't ever listen to me. You don't listen. That's how we get into these wars about who's listening to who. We've been telling each other these messages for years. They keep shifting with some new generational thought, some new generational promise, some new fascinating whatever, and then the conversations cycle again and again and again, is my opinion.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Doc. Appreciate that. Quantum said, amen. Take he said, I don't want to be the head. Amen. Okay. Let's keep going.
It's not in you. But we'll tell you real quick, why don't you act like a man? Well, how do we know what a man act like? Most of us didn't have a father. We didn't have a model. We only saw fathers on television and in movies. And they gave us certain ideas that white people have. that they themselves don't live up to. Okay. Their fatherhood is built on them being able to provide. And they kept you from being able to do that so that you could not have that. And that's another reason I say that we have to teach our men how to be fathers, how to deal with babies, how to change a diaper, how to do all of those things.
What you think about that, Doc? Do you think that men need to have more of a on-hands approach and on-hands training in regards to dealing with infants, babies, caring, nurturing, and things of that nature?
Yes, I'm gonna come from a limited perspective, so this is not a coverall or cast out to all men. Either from my experience through work, my experience as a father, and my experience with family. Men who were traditionally, I'll use for language purposes, hardcore or much into that life. Children seem to soften them or seem to bring about a side where they became more nurturing, more caring, and less I want to call it action when you're just wild out there. I can't think of the word right now, but it helped them to hone in, become less reckless.
Okay.
And through that came the natural bonding stage. Now, did they have the technical versions or did they have the technical information? No. Child protection might jump in and say, well, you need to take a class on parenting. But was that type of parenting beneficial for this culture? Was that type of parenting beneficial for our family's beliefs and traditions and practices? Maybe, maybe not. So when it comes to this idea of where we get that from, are we going to those community leaders? Are we going to the church or whatever spiritual place you practice at? Are you going to our elders? We used to have those elders who were able to teach us. That's been reduced. Are we going to great grandparents and grandparents? So with that change and shift, I ask, where do we get it from? And so those parents of the 90s, what did they teach the 2000s, and 2000 teach the so on and so on? As we reduce in those parenting skills or our shifts in perspective and knowledge and teaching has changed, as we've talked about and you've talked about on your channel, those future generations are either getting the watered down version or their version of the enhanced, the new way, the correct way, whatever you want to call it. So it's shifting. So it doesn't mean that they're not getting the parenting skills. It just looks different and sounds different than what we taught. And of course, there are going to be some different outcomes and different consequences, both positive and negative. And then that whole thing of you can get resources as long as you take the man out of the home. I think that created a ton of damage for future generations. And then back to that fighting amongst each other and fighting the government and fighting the system and fighting this structure and fighting ourselves. If we can't do better if we don't know better, but then when we have a chance to do better, we don't seem to seek it. So then I say the mentors and the leaders and the brothers might have to lean in a little bit, give some nudges with that elbow. And those people have to be open to it. You know, they say you can lead a horse to water, doesn't mean you can make him drink. A person persuaded against their will is of the same persuasion still. So we have to be creative in our ways of motivating each other.
Doc, that's why we love you over here, Doc.
This is a work of art.
You put a pretty red bow on it every time. Pookie Hybrid is checking us out. Hope all is well, family. Hope you're doing good. Said family in general sense is done. We're just cohabitating at this point. Damn. Laughing my butt off. Ain't no home training. It's funny how it was never a gender war till men started talking about our experiences. Selfish people raising selfish people to be selfish.
You made that. That's your idea. So you need to be a part of how it's going to be reared and how to handle it. Many of our brothers.
Okay. So that was Sister Ali. And like I said, that conversation, you know, I really wanted to get a little more context of the initial joke that she made about Kevin Samuels. But overall, you know, like you said, Doc, two different generations, two different demographics, you know, can have the message with the same ultimate goal, have different approaches, different rhetoric, and it can be exhausting. You see what Pookie said. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of this conversation. But I think it's a necessary evil. I think it's, you know, the tunnel that we have to go through to get to that light. And although very unique, sometimes hard conversations we do have, subject matter we do cover. But I think, again, the people who want to do better, like you said, are appreciative of the different insight, the different perspective. We take it, we do with it what we will, and we move accordingly. So shout out to everybody that wants to have, you know, functional family, functional society, functional America, because I believe we deserve it. I believe it's something that we can accomplish, but, you know, like Pookie said, it's definitely an uphill battle, because the unity, the camaraderie, what is family is just, you know, not popular nowadays. But hopefully with conversations like this, with professionals like Dr. Nakumbe, we can change the narrative one family at a time, one person at a time. What do you think, Doc?
I totally agree. Here's a challenge for us all. There are your relatives, and then there's your chosen family. And when we start to, again, become more individualized, as we're choosing our chosen family, we go with where the support is. And actually, this has been going on for decades. That's what happens with gangs. It's about where we feel accepted and connected, a sense of belonging, and a part of our culture. So even though some of this looks foolish, but if there's a welcoming piece to it, if there's a supportive piece to it, if I have mental illness, but no one's challenging that, in fact, they celebrate it, I feel welcomed. If I have someone putting a message out there and it seems like, wow, even though I know it's not exactly the message I want out there, but it feels and perceives as supportive, I jump on it. And people are not going to know what to have if they don't even have an identity for themselves. We have these weird narratives, and if we don't challenge these narratives, we continue to live them out. And if I don't have that true identity, who am I as a man? And this is I'm not, because sometimes I give praise and it seems like, oh, I'm just the biggest fan. But I told the world class, I was on one of his shows one time, and I thought, damn, dude, you don't know dick. You don't know shit about being I was telling myself that, listening to him, like, holy, I know some clinical stuff. I know some stuff about this. I know a little bit about that. I'm like the one-eyed person in a room full of blind people. So I know a little bit about something.
Mm-hmm.
But as I was listening, I got to hear stuff about being a man and a black man that I had not heard before. But I was open to hearing it, open to receiving it, but then doing the work after. We'll hear these shows, we get pumped up, and no quicker than we say buzz and shut it down, we're right back to our original thought. How many times have I joked with Coach K, big ass tall can of Pringles, and then say, woo, if Mrs. and Mr. the Saids heard me and see me with this can, ha ha ha. That, like, funny, but who's the joke on?
Mm-hmm.
So if we hear these things, great. But if you don't have that identity, and if you're going off this narrative that was never yours in the first place, then we're not moving anywhere. So I agree with you. And on top of that, I would say, please find out who you are as a person. As a person, don't get caught up in all the other narratives. Find the one that you are, not the one you just feel most comfortable with in that moment. It's not about your feelings. And at some point, you have to recognize when it's no longer about you. I had to recognize it's no longer about me. It's the next generation and the generation after that. And those with kids might not want to hear that. I totally get it. But find the truth in it for you and for you. That's my 2 cents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to everybody pulling in. Sis is pulling in. She said, hey, brother. Hey, Red. Shout out to Red Lipstick Vibe, where the vibe is always positive. She said, good evening, everybody. Take heed is in agreement. She said, nobody understands the natural order anymore. And World Class checked in. He said, we are all tired, but it got to be done. Hashtag whatever it takes. And just to piggyback off of what you said, World Class is somebody that I have a great admiration for when it comes to the information that he puts out, the foundation that he stands on. And like you said, the information that he presents to us, we all come from different walks. We all have different experiences, and it shows in this space. And this is why, you know, I will never say YouTube is this evil machine, that YouTube has so many DIYs, so many music, so many books, so much information that we can grab from here. And all of you guys' personalities is something that I grab from here as well. Your experiences, the information that you give, it's always something that you can take something away from it. And I appreciate you guys. Like I told y'all, I didn't have a lot of male positive influences in my life. So whenever I can get a spoonful of Dr. Nakumbe or a spoonful of world-class pause, I will be, you know, first in line to get some of that medicine, because it don't always taste good, but we need it. We need it to be better. We need it to do better. And I appreciate you, gentlemen, each and every last one of y'all, to take heed to the message. Red Lipstick Vibes, Mr.HeSaiD, real precious. You ladies, we appreciate y'all so much. The information that y'all bring, just keep doing what you do. Keep standing on y'all foundation, because you guys are appreciated. Y'all might not have as many eyes on you as you want, but there are people who are inspired by what you do, that are motivated and admire what you do. So you guys keep doing what y'all do. There's so many others blaming on my head, not my heart, but I appreciate all of you guys. And I think that's the information that I wanted to give today, man. I appreciate both Kevin Samuels. I appreciate Sista Ali. I appreciate family. I appreciate coexisting, significant others. I think they are those words specifically. I think they are more than just a person to sign for me if I can't. But I think they are significant. I think they are a reflection. A lot of the comments in the comment section today was a lot of my sentiment. I think we are reflections of each other. We make each other be better. We inspire each other to be better. And I think that with that comes hard conversations, comes constructive criticism. But I think it's something that we can get through as adults, as people that love each other, as men and women. So, you know, I'm always going to be here for a conversation. I'm always going to stand on my foundation. And with new information, I will always be willing to change. But I will always be willing to have the conversation. And I'm always going to start from my goal. So thank y'all for tuning in. Doc, you got any final words?
Just a question, and I'll land with this, or these couple of questions, and I'll land. One, sure. How do we respond to people, especially in our inner circles, who we hear that their narrative is not, but they say, hey, this is all I know. How do we help push? And then at what point do we not push? That's a fine line. And I'm hoping one day we can have conversations about this. Like, how do we motivate? How do we push people who don't know, who are blindly moving forward, but strongly rooted in their belief system? And is it about my belief versus your belief? But really looking at the big picture and the big goal. How do we help people if they don't know? I'm not talking about the ones that don't want to. I'm talking about the ones that don't know. My other thing is just a reminder how to utilize this space. One of the ways to utilize this space. Our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. As I was saying the other day on my show, even corn, you know, it's gone from 2 hours down to 1 hour, down to 30 minutes, now even down to like a 2-minute clip or a 30-second clip. And even within the 30 seconds, people are still swiping through the 30 seconds. So the attention span that we've gotten to, where we start to hear information on the YouTube, then we switch. Our attention spans have gotten shorter and shorter. So a suggestion, use the reels and the shorts, the Instagrams, TikToks, and Facebook reels to give the short information, or for us to capture the short information, come back to the YouTubes for the longer conversation and more in-depth conversation. So that's just a suggestion, because if not, we just go quickly to the Instagram or the TikTok where we hear the message and gone. but where did you process them? So just a suggestion to use the YouTube information as a bank, as a library bank, where you can get in the deeper conversations and dialogue. Use the short videos just to give you a snippet of whatever type of information. So that's what I just want to offer that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great suggestion. Great suggestion. And like I said, the formula, I believe Take Heed has an amazing formula. She gives, like you said, a preview in her story. She goes deeper into it when it's time for her presentation. And I admire her approach in the way that she formats her material so much that we wanted to incorporate a little bit of that over here. And it helps us concentrate and condense the information a lot more, which helps us have a better conversation, a more in-depth conversation. So always, guys, those suggestions are always pleasurable, and we need them to keep the show moving, to keep the information and the content fresh. And we appreciate you guys. You guys are such an inspiration. You guys have no idea. We talk about you guys in the back, me and the missus, with everything that you inspire us to do, the different topics, your approach. World Class was on last night on the late night tip going in. It was amazing, amazing. So you guys are getting in where you fit in. Your information is important and necessary, and we appreciate it so much over here with the tribe. So y'all keep doing what y'all do, man. And like Doc said, man, utilize those shorts and those shorter material videos to grab the attention of your viewers, man. So y'all have a great weekend. Do something good for somebody other than yourself, because y'all know who will be here tomorrow. The Shame Lady.
Shame. Shame.
The Shame Lady will be here tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we will be back on Tuesday. Tuesday is our new day, so you're going to see us a little sooner than usual. We will be back Tuesday with some amazing content to start this new, fresh day and bring some information to a Tuesday night. So hopefully you guys have a little bit of free time on Tuesday, because we will be here. We will be doing it for the kids. Get y'all a little bit of dinner, but no noodles.
Boys don't eat that.
Why?
Boys don't eat. I don't eat noodles. I'm a grown man.
That's right. We grown over here. No noodles over here. Y'all have a good week. Check out the missus tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We'll be back on Tuesday. And don't forget, man, we do it for the kids, man.
You see, baby, I don't do this just for the recognition. I do it for the children. You can take the children and bounce them on their knees. Bounce them on the knee and then sing a melody. The Barnell man, did you mean he's mine?
That was lovely. That was beautiful. Johnny Gill should sign you up. My.
Everything in creation and in physical form has its own fundamental resonant frequencies. Everything in creation and in physical form has its own fundamental resonant frequencies.